Welcome once again to RocketNight.com's podcast. I'm Tampa Earl Burton, and this is a special occasion as we get to talk to Jeanicelee, who's the lead of her own band in the United Kingdom and been touring around a little bit there around the island, supporting her new album, Urban Legends. And we're going to be able to talk to her about that for a little bit right now. Jeanice, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, we're thrilled to have you here this week because, this new album that you have out, first of all, it's always exciting when you're able to put out a debut album. What kind of pressure do you feel having this body of work out there that comes out of your mind and your soul?
This is not our debut album. This is actually our second album.
Oh, okay.
There was a little change of name, which was my full name, Jeanicelee, and we merged it together so it looks a bit more like a band name. But maybe that's why you thought that there was this was our debut album. So this is our second album, and it's been a labor of love. It's been a long time coming because of the pandemic and everything. So it's taken lots of time to get into the studio, to get ready, to launch, because we didn't want to really start organizing gigs around the launch without knowing that we could, get people into venues. So there was a lot of uncertainty last year. And at the beginning of the year, when restrictions were starting to lift in the UK, so we then started organizing and planning dates and stuff like that. So it's been a lot of work in the last 6 months, trying to get everything done.
Yeah, definitely. Because I know you've been going around some dates there in the UK. What has been the reaction? Is it great to be back into that live setting once again and to feel the reaction of the audience?
I think that's the playing live is ultimate for most bands and musicians. We live for that 45 minutes on stage, and all the traveling around, setting up, breaking down afterwards, all that kind of stuff, no one really enjoys. So it's that 45 minutes that you do all this for. And so to be able to get back on stage after 2 years of not playing live was just, it was like coming home. I don't know how else to explain. It's just for musicians to want to perform in front of people, that having a crowd in front of you, listening to your music, enjoying the show is just something else, putting out music is one thing, but playing live is just the ultimate for me anyway.
No doubt about that. Now, how would you typify your music? I mean, I hear a little bit of hard rock metal in there. I hear some classic rock. I hear some blues. How would you typify the sound of you and the band?
To be honest, that's actually been one of the very difficult things to do. And not really anybody or any reviewers have really dared to put a hand on, what it is. And that's been a good thing and a bad thing, because obviously having a unique sound, having a distinctive sound is good because it makes you stand out from the rest. But the difficulties with that is that some people just won't give you a chance, because you can't tell them what you sound like. When we apply to festival, if a festival asks for, they want you to list 3 bands that you sound like. And it's like almost impossible for me. I really don't know. I really don't know. And there is blend of sounds there. And the influence comes from maybe partly because I'm from the Far East. I'm originally from Hong Kong. But I've lived in Scotland and the UK for a very long time, so I'm quite influenced by British music, and also I listen to a lot of bands from the States as well. So Marco, being from Italy, grew up, listening to 80s metal, and he's our lead guitarist, and he is very into the likes of Randy Rhoads, Blackmore, Gary Moore, and all those people. So, and then we have a drummer and a bass player who really like their prog. And my drummer played in a prog metal band before, and my my bass player, who's also very into going to gigs, and he's into lots of prog rock and prog metal. So you've got a mix of people bringing the elements of it, and I'm happy to hear that people actually can in a way find it quite unique. But how do we describe it? That's why we use heavy rock, because nowadays metal has moved on. My idea of heavy metal back in the 80s is not the metal now. Metal is now death metal and very growling and everything, which is quite far from what we do. But we definitely have some old school metal elements in it, which I like personally, and also my band like. And then just, a bit of everything. Nothing is off limits in a way. And then you bring everything together to see whether it works.
Well, let's take... What's that?
How would you describe?
Ooh, that's you're going to put me on the spot. I would say just good old rock and roll myself.
Okay.
I mean, that's the way I'm not one to pigeonhole. The thing is, I don't like to say, well, this is this type of rock and this type of rock, and it's just good rock and roll, especially Back in Our Cage, which was the first release from Urban Legends. Tell us a little bit about that song.
That song was actually about the lockdown, and so me and Marco, when we realized that we are not gonna gig, we're not gonna go practice, we're not gonna go doing anything, so we sat down and wrote some songs together. And so Back in Our Cage was one of those that I thought, well, you know what, I want to write a song about lockdown. And then and in my head, I'm thinking about lyrics, I'm thinking about what I want to hear, and then next minute Marco comes up with a riff, and then the riff turns into a verse, and then it's just a work in progress between the two of us, because we live together. And it's just easy, when during the lockdown, you can't go anywhere anyway. So, so that's how it came about. It's about a different look at the lockdown, because I am very much into the environment, the climate change and all that kind of stuff, that I want to minimize my personal impact on the environment. And I looked at the lockdown as the nature taking a break from us human beings. And we were hearing stories on the news about how some wild animals had gone into the city center, because obviously no one were around, and they were like wandering in and stuff like that. And how air pollution had dropped during the time when people had very little activities, etc., etc. Those kind of things inspired me to write this song.
ashes she from the ashes she
Now, one thing I wanted to ask you about is you've been getting back out on the road, got Urban Legends out there. What does the rest of the calendar year look like for you? How busy are you and the other guys in the band going to be coming over the next 6 months or so?
Well, on the one hand, I would say not busy enough, and, but on the other hand, is what we can do within the limitations that we have. We all have full-time jobs, and we have some of our members have children, and it's quite difficult to go around touring. We call it nowadays. It's not real touring. You have different dates on different weekends doing album promotion, and it's not like people tour like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like all week or for 2 weeks. It's not like that. But even organizing weekends is not always easy, especially if we have to go a bit further away. Some of our members don't want to or cannot because of other commitments to travel too far. So we've played 6 gigs so far up to this point, which I'm very, very happy about. 4 of them were in Scotland, which was not too bad for us. And we did a couple in England with just me and Marco because the other members couldn't join us. It was too far away for them. So we've got a few more gigs lined up for when we come back after the summer holidays. So we're taking a couple of months because people have holidays, weddings, lots of things and festivals to go to as attendees. So yeah, so when we come back after the summer, we will have a few more gigs around Scotland. We have another couple down in England. So yeah, so trying to fit in as much as we can within the limits that we can do it. It's hard. I won't lie about it. It's exhausting when you have a full-time job and then you finish. You have to go to a gig and then you have to do all the load in, sound check, and then you play for that 45 minutes and then you have to unpack everything up and go home and you're knackered by the time you get home. So weekends are a bit better, like Saturday gigs are a bit better than Fridays. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about that. That's one thing I don't think a lot of fans understand nowadays is that the days of, living on a tour bus and having the labels send you out, those days don't exist anymore. It's people like you and a lot of other bands that I've talked to that, they have this, well, I got a full-time job and then I go, on Saturday night and, play a 2-hour show somewhere. And that's, the thing is they use that full-time job to be able to do it really is tough on you guys because you are, working 40, 50 hours a week, and then you're working another 24 hours with your band.
That's right. And people don't buy music and music don't pay. We won't even break even. For example, all the money that we spend going to the studio, printing the CDs, doing the T-shirts, is to promote, to hope that people listen to the music. But ultimately, the money we've spent, we are savings that we've made in order to make the music, and if I couldn't afford to actually pay that out, then we wouldn't really do it because there's really no guarantee of you making the money back. Unless you make it big, obviously, but nowadays making it big is a lot more than just the music.
Oh, definitely. I mean, everybody knows the pittance that they pay out through streaming and buying digital music. I mean, that's why I personally always try to buy an album or a T-shirt or something like that. That money is actually going to the artists themselves.
That's right.
And there's no better way to support new rock or new music overall than to do that.
But it's hard. The few people that buy also tend to be either musicians or people like yourselves. And the Joe Block who might not even come to the gigs and never mind buying merch. So yeah, it is not easy. And also what I find to accept in a way is that all the hard work that we put in, we put something out, next minute is yesterday's news. And unless you keep pushing, you keep advertising, people have forgotten about what you've done already, really. Unless you make it big. But it's quite disheartening. And I quite a few years ago when I first started, because I only started about 5.5 years ago actually. And I started learning the guitar and I went to some open mics. And I got to know some of the musicians that at the open mics, and they used to have bands. They used to gig. They used to go around. And the first thought I had was like, but why not carry on? Why? If you like it so much, why don't you give up? Why did you give up on the band and just go around with your acoustic guitar and doing open mics? And now, after 5.5 years, almost 6 years, I actually understand.
Propagandas and agendas, all these years of long soul. Great savior of the world, you ain't. We are ready for an overhaul. The people will wake up one day and chant victory to your fall. Strike the iron of oppression. Pride has left you in denial. No lesser evil in contention. Nothing is left to reconcile. Divine red
one thing that you kind of read my mind there is are we going to hear more out of you? What I know some bands have done is they'll issue a single here and then a single there. And then when they get enough singles out there, they say, okay, let's put them together and do an EP. I mean, is that an approach that you like, or do you prefer the album approach?
No, I'm an old school album. For me, I grew up listening to albums. I didn't do single songs. I listened to album from beginning to end. I want to know what's coming up. I anticipate what's coming up, and I listen to the end. I do not stop a song in the middle. I listen right to the end. That's how I listen to music. And so when we put out the first album, because I started so late, I should have started many, many, many years ago. But life circumstances has it that I didn't do anything to do with music until about 5.5 years ago. So I felt that I was in a hurry. So I put up the first album with no singles. I didn't even know or think about putting out singles. We put out the album in day one, and then I soon learned that you're supposed to do things in certain steps and blah blah blah. So with this one, you got the music through Dunk McKellar, and he does the radio plugging, and he advised me to put out 2 singles before the album. And that's why we did it that way. So it's through good advice from someone who knows. And but I think two singles from an album is plenty. You want people to listen to the album, and one thing I think we should do more is videos, but it's very difficult. I find it very difficult because, one, we don't have money to pay someone to do it. So that's budgets that we don't have. If we do it ourselves, it's finding the time to do it. We did Back in Our Cage ourselves, and the result is not as good as we would like, but I think the idea materialized, and we managed to do something that we were happy enough to put out. But we should have really done a video for From the Ashes, but I just didn't have time. We might still do a couple of videos, live videos that we've taken footage of during the gigs that we played, to try to have a bit more content. It's like this era of content creation is so hard to keep up, so hard.
It really seems like you've got the right approach. I mean, you've got the old school rock and roll attitude. You've got the music. You got the sound. We can only hope that you have great things come for you in the future, Jeanice.
Thank you very much.
Well, want to thank you for coming out here and talking with us today. And we look forward to, keeping an eye on you and watching what comes next. And hopefully, maybe before the end of the year, we can hear some new stuff from you.
Yeah, that might be pushing it, but yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see.
Well, thank you for your time, Jeanice.
Thank you. Thank you.